Hey folks, I thought I'd just give a quick roundup of what's going on in greenhouse and garden. As you can see, I haven't fixed that window yet. That's on my list. But I'll just show you what's going on in here, and then I'll show you a couple of other things. Well, I've put a practical use to my pipe clamp. Well, it wasn't my idea originally, but the pipe clamp I made, I've just put a practical idea to it that's not a pipe. Stay tuned, or tuned. So, I'll show you what I've got going on. These are all brassicas, obviously. These are graham cabbage. Now, these are supposed to be cauliflower, but I've got two different leaf patterns. Now, these seeds were sent to me from Save Seeds, from Todd Andrew Cole. So, I've just wondered if you had two types. And Todd, if you're watching, mate, let me know. But I'm still going to grow them. It's interesting. These aren't all mine. Some of these are going to me father-in-law. And they're cauliflowers, they're broccoli. These are some spares from what they come in, because I prick them out. And there's also a few, there's a couple of golden acre, I used to call them acre cabbage in there, and there's 3 of the purple cauliflowers. And if I call them broccoli, kohlrabi, then they're not. They're broccoli. Brain fog. I had loads of problems at first with germination. I don't know what's happening there. These are actually kohlrabi. I've got 2, but they haven't moved, so I've got to replant kohlrabi. Rubbish for spinach. Don't know what's happening with that. This is supposed to be lettuce, but none of that's come. I bought some soil which were just rubbish. It used to be alright, but it's rubbish now. And these are radishes, they've all got to go out. That's radishes, and these are more cabbages, red and white cabbage from new seed, but still not fantastic germination. And these are Swiss chard from 3-year-old seed. So I don't know, a few problems. The rabbits have made drop the first payment. The rabbits were on the concrete all winter, because obviously don't go on with snow and everything else, you can't move them, and so we deep mulched them, and that's that. I will get some shoots come up in that. This miner's lettuce is brilliant. Grow this. I'm going to put some outside, but this is all self-seeded, and this lasts all winter. I had it in several beds, as you can probably see, and there's a little bit growing down there. It will seed again in here, but I want to get a permanent patch outside. I moved a few plants outside just to see if they'll survive, because at transplant, that's all. They might not survive because they're coming into flower, obviously. But yeah, grow that, that's alright, and it's nice salad, you can eat it, it's bloody good stuff. I wasn't over impressed with taste on it, but on its own it's not bland, it's got taste. And it's quite a thick leaf. But in and mixed in with more other salad, it adds to it perfectly. It's brilliant stuff. That were a red cabbage that I had extra, what I planted in from end of last year, which were held back. I don't know what it'll do out. If not, it'll be chicken food, so it doesn't matter, you know what I mean. Let's get on with it. Oh, what I didn't say, these are the sweet peas, and there's some dianthus in here, but they're not oh, there's a couple showing. I don't know whether you can see, there's a couple showing, but they're the sweet peas, so I'm really looking forward to them. I really hope they come, because they smell wonderful, and they do as well, don't they? So the use for the pipe clamp, this piece of wood had split off here when the kids had sat on it, and obviously it's lapwood, it's cross grain, and I used some thinner wire, but I doubled it so I could pass it through and make the loop, and pass it through the loop, and fixed it on here, and that is absolutely solid. You know what I mean? I'm really pleased with that. That saved me a bit of hassle. So yeah, that clamp does a lot of good for a lot of different things. Spudomatic topped up as well. I didn't quite have enough rabbit manure to go and do all the shed, but I'll be collecting it from the rabbit hutch, and any poop I scoop up off the garden after I move the tractor along. I'll do that drawer incidentally next Sunday, yeah, for anybody who doesn't know about it. Look at the Spudomatic video and drop a comment in and a like on that, and share it maybe, and you've got a chance to win a little carving that I did. They're the ones that I moved. They look a little bit sad, but I'm going to try and find a permanent space to get them going. That miner's lettuce, that's really good stuff. Asparagus bed has started. We had a little harvest the other day because we were getting more frost. We're still cold, but it's coming on now nicely. There's one that's frost damaged, but it's coming on now, shooting up through, so that'll kick off hopefully next few days, and we'll have some asparagus to eat. Onions are coming on. They're all starting to shoot up nicely. First time I've put them direct in ground this year. I was very late with everything, so I didn't have a chance, or I didn't start them up in trays like I usually do, but they seem to be doing all right. Garlic's doing fantastic. These a shop bought that I grew last year and saved cloves from, and that's the Red Russian what Willie Coleman sent me, and again saved the cloves from last year. That always comes up a little bit slower than the other one. That's also onions. Not a lot going on here. Oh, more potatoes. Yeah, there is stuff going on here. More potatoes. Now there's 3 Victoria, 2 Charlottes, and then some random potatoes that sprouted in cellar from shop bought. See what I get out of there. I think in total there's 11. Yeah, there's 11 seed potatoes in there altogether. I put that rubbish soil on. The soil what I get, that's a bit of a stuff out of bottom at quail cage, which is very high in nitrogen, but it shouldn't burn it. It's just a light covering on top. It's not mixed in with root. That'll just wash through. And this soil, like I said, this cheap stuff I bought, I don't know whether you can see that, it's more sawdust than anything else, so that'll suck the nitrogen up. I'm really disappointed with that. They've changed it. It used to be good. I used to just sieve it and get the good stuff out for seed starting, but you can't even sieve that because it's got fine sawdust in it. Annoying. But yeah, nothing else happening here. Carrots aren't moving. Got a lot of clover coming up in there, so I might have to redo that. That plum tree seems to be saved now. It's well in bloom, and obviously, yeah, we're still getting cold, but not like the flower killing cold, so that might get a good crop this year. Although the plum that pollinates it usually is the one that went early, and that might not have a lot of good on it, but I'll show you that. Cherry tree, that started blooming and then stopped again when it got cold, so it's obviously got blooms on now. There's a few bees about and all today because it has warmed up a little bit today, so hopefully a good cherry crop. I should really take them top bits off now. I'll have a look at weather, see what it's like, if it's going to rain. Yeah, this is the other plum. Now the bit that's in full flower there is the same tree as the one what you've just seen. I grafted that on a few years ago. I don't know, I can't know if you can see graft there at the bottom, but there's a graft down there. But the rest of that, the flowers are just about done and dusted, and this will pollinate that. So hopefully there'll be enough to do some pollination on that other tree. I did get a few plums before, but when this blooms, has a good bloom on it, I get good plums off that other tree, which makes sense obviously, doesn't it? And chickens, you've got to see chickens, haven't you? Hello, here they come. We bought one of them little sand pits and made a dust bath for them, and obviously they'll eat the grit and stuff like that to help them with the digestion. But I just thought I'd make that, put that on top, obviously try and keep it dry. I did drill some holes in the bottom of that for drainage, and hopefully it's just a little bit of a bonus for them, I suppose. And the front, yeah, I've got a temporary fence up here, so chickens can run on this and they come out, but we have to sort of monitor it. But so chickens get into here. They've cleaned all that out under there. Apple tree, there's quite a few bud on, as you can see. It's not blooming yet. And the pear tree, which again full of bud. hopefully I'll get a good crop off that again this year like we did last year. First time we got a good crop. Look who's back. Raspberries red, raspberries yellow. These are black, red and white currants. I'll give them a right good haircut now. I got the chipper, you see. Got loads of this bloody buttercup coming into here. Everything I chip, obviously, I put stuff back on here. Chickens were in there, look, and dug that out. Don't know what I'm going to plant down here this year. I'm thinking maybe some millet and sunflowers and millet, because I can use it as feed for birds, not just the chickens, the quail and the budgies. And that's about it, I think. Grass needs cutting. I won't get many off this year because I absolutely devastated and they were in a really bad state. So, but I've got another black and red currant bush anyway on the garden side, so that's not a problem. And we've got loads of jam already. But yeah, that's about it. Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down and drop a comment in. And thanks for watching. See, you love it, don't you? Huh? Don't turn it into a mud bath.